Hello friends, it's Chops and welcome to a early morning Chopsvlog. I had recorded this yesterday and then went to schedule it to upload to YouTube and realized that I had recorded it without sound. So here I am, getting this done in the morning right before I usually schedule to upload these, and I'm going to try to remember what it was I talked about last night. By way of update, I am done with questing, exploring, and dungeons. There is no more solo PvE content to consume in terms of like that sort of baseline, which really feels good, man. I set out to like play through the game, every expansion in order, and I have done that. That's really feels good. Feels really good. I have some profession things left over to finish. You know, part of my goal for the completionist project was not just to play through every expansion in order and do all the quests, all the exploring, all the dungeons, but also to level all of the professions as we got there and learn all the recipes that I could at level 20. I still have a bit to go on the professions. We kind of abandoned the idea of doing them all in order just to make it easier to sort of get them all done quickly. I had a huge week in terms of game productivity this week. I had some time to sit down and really crank some stuff out. So I had Panda cooking that I had kind of left behind. I finally got Panda cooking to 75 and one of the ways, the way of the grill, to 75, but I still need to finish the rest of the ways. Luckily, I remembered, I had forgotten, and then remembered that I can buy Iron Paw tokens, which is the currency I need to get the mats that I need to finish leveling. I can buy those with Spirits of Harmony. So I've just got to go farm those up. I think it's like 20 of them, and I'll have enough to knock that out. And then it's just a matter of waiting, I think about 3 weeks on Tiller's farming dailies to get all the mats I need to finish that. So that's really just, I'm up against the time gate there. I had also Legion cooking to finish, which I am currently working through. It requires a ton of mats. It's just me knocking it out. But I've gotten, I think, let me check here, actually. Yeah, I'm a little over halfway through Legion cooking, and it's just me gathering mats and learning recipes at this point. Also, as you can see, I made a pretty good headway into Kultiran cooking. And again, this one is just a matter of getting all these massive amounts of mats. This is what I've been using. It's going yellow already. So it's going to be getting that probably up to where it hits green, and then these just massive amount of mats for the rest of the skill ups. So that's what I'm looking at there. The real bummer is engineering. Legion engineering is going to require 3 months of Dark Moon Fair quests to max out. So I'm just not going to get that done for another 3 months, and there's nothing I can do about it. That's kind of a bummer, but it also means I'm not going to start BFA engineering until I've finished Legion, because I don't want to put myself in a position where Dark Moon Fair has come up and I'm wasting those skill up points on BFA. I don't really have anything to do right now, so I'm just kind of hitching flights and talking to y'all. So that's where my completionist project is at. Is really I'm just finishing up a couple of profession things, and most of that is just farming up a massive amount of mats to get those last few skill ups. What I did want to talk to you guys about was a thing I was thinking about as I went through and did this completionist project, and I've thought a lot about over the years as a free to play is sort of the concept of meaningful character progression. We talk about that a lot when we talk about sort of what's wrong with World of Warcraft. And it occurred to me that like the way World of Warcraft is designed is character progression is almost entirely gear based, right? If you're at Endgame, your concept of progression is getting enough higher level gear on your character to allow you to do higher level mythics or higher level raids or get a higher rating in PvP, right? And you do that to then get better pieces of gear that have in terms of sort of the end game, the higher eye level gear has a more desired transmog appearance because it signifies to other people that you have done this, high level rating or high level mythics or high level PvP. That's the character progression is the high level gear that comes with these high level looks that tells people that you have that high level gear. And you've done the content that high level gear allows you to do. And so the entirety of progression at endgame is better gear, better gear, better gear, better gear, better gear. And you're running essentially the same content, just harder and harder and harder and harder and harder. Mythic 15 or whatever is still the same dungeons that you get in just random dungeon finder. It's just they're harder, right? So that's how progression is defined at endgame. And so it is kind of, man, it is just kind of a bummer, right? They have these borrowed power systems that you also kind of progress, but again, those are just to get you into the raids where you get the gear. It's the gear hamster wheel of the MMO. And so I was thinking about how free to play doesn't have that. It divorces itself from the idea of progression having anything to do with level or anything to do with gear, right? This character has been level 20 for right about 7 years. With minus the 1 week that it got squished to 10, I had to re-level to 20 for Shadowlands, But it's been max level for almost 7 years now. And it's had best in slot gear very early in the X pack, every X pack, So I got my best gear very early in Shadowlands. I think even before Shadowlands actually officially launched, we had the pre-patch and then it was on from there. So that the sense of progression of the character is such that the gear and the level aren't what gives me a sense of progression, right? This character's 7 years old and I only just now feel like I've been really progressing towards that free-to-play endgame. And a lot of that is me mostly playing free-to-play as a way to kill time. I haven't really pursued it hardcore like I have been now. So, progression has been things like collecting pets or collecting transmogs or getting up to shenanigans that may or may not violate the end user licensing agreement, that kind of thing. Just kind of having fun with it has been the sense of progression. And now, as I've finished off that baseline of PvE content, there are no more zone quests, achievements. There's a few stray quests, but there are no more quests to do. There are no more dungeons to do. There is no more overall exploring to do. I'm actually in a situation where I'm excited about the progression of the character because the way I'm going to progress it is kind of this huge swath of available paths to take. Do I want to start farming up a bunch of reputations? Do I want to go after a few pieces of esoteric gear? Do I want to start farming up some of the easier achievements like killing all the rares in an X pack, killing all the rares in a zone? Some of the ones that you can knock out real quick. What do I want to do? Do I want to collect mounts? Do I want to collect pets? Do I want to go really exploring and find some of the more out of the way Easter eggs and stuff in the game and do that sort of Azeroth Obscura thing that I was doing 3 years ago? Please don't go watch those videos. They're terrible. I might want to pick that back up again. And so I have the whole game laid out before me. The content of the game in terms of questing through the stories and stuff is over. And so my progression is something that I get to decide on. And it's completely detached from the accumulation of gear or the accumulation of raid tiers or the accumulation of levels. And I think that this is one of the things that makes free to play not just compelling, but more compelling than the end game of World of Warcraft. And that is to say, like, there's nothing stopping you from leveling to 60, having, good enough, trademark USA, gear, and then just going and doing all this stuff on your 60, right? But that's not the end game that's designed for 60. And I think that really gets at the heart of it, is that the end game for free to play is not designed. So it's whatever each individual player wants it to be. And it's this huge swath of possibility that they can pick and choose from and kind of choose your own adventure. And that is really what gets at the heart of any good MMO, is that there's a wide variety of what could be considered progression, and only some of it is determined by the game designers, right? Like, the player is free to find their own fun, which is what free to play allows us to do. Hi, look, Malcolm wants to be on camera again. Is what we get to do, and I think that is very much captured in free to play. Is that we find our own fun, and that is what seems to be missing from the end game of World of Warcraft, which kind of became clear to me as I was cruising through this content. I have my concerns with sort of the world as it's built and all that. We've talked about that before. But I think the main thing, if I had to boil it down to one factor, is that I feel more free to find my own fun. Well, that's a tongue twister. Than I do at Endgame, and that's what makes free to play awesome. So I'm happy to wrap up this Chops vlog really quick. I need to get to work. I need to get this uploaded. So thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for sticking through to the end of the video. Apparently that is the one thing that actually really matters. So if you made it this far, awesome, and thank you. I'm going to fight my cat for my coffee and get to work. Talk to y'all next time.